So Bob's on the line, but I do want to play this clip from Kassian first because we need to start with it. To me,
Yeah.
it's the biggest news around the league because Kassian is the one who has a hearing with the NHL Player Safety Department. So this is actually so basically what ended up happening was after that second hit, where once again Kassian felt targeted, he went after Tkachuk and just was throwing some haymakers, and it was so obvious Tkachuk was not engaging in the fight, and he was getting ragdolled by Kassian, who was then issued 2 roughings in a game misconduct, and the league is like, yeah, you can't get away with that either. You know, essentially fighting a guy who doesn't want to fight, but this is what Kassian had to say about that afterwards.
He's just a young punk that has to figure that aspect out in the game. It's sad 'cause he's a pretty good player, but he's a to be honest, straight up. That's the definition of it. He wouldn't fight me 2 years ago. Said I was a 4th liner. Now I have 13 goals. What's the excuse now? You know what I mean?
Okay, see, players, memories like elephants. They do not forget what you say about them. That's for sure. Let's bring in Bob McKenzie, our TSN Hockey Insider. How you doing, Bob?
Excellent. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're trying to, we were just talking about the whole Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers situation between Kassian and Tkachuk, and we know that Kassian will actually have a hearing today for the roughing aggressor on Calgary's Tkachuk. But what did you make of, a lot of people, including our very own Ray Ferraro, Timo Solani and Scotty Upshaw, like a lot of former players taking to Twitter basically saying it was not right what Tkachuk did. So I'm curious to get your take on the whole situation.
Well, it's the old Colby Armstrong, Rafi Torres, Death Valley hit. That is, you've got a guy coming out from behind the net to make a play on a puck in front of the net. And as my MJ just so eloquently outlined it, you come down from your wing position when the player is vulnerable and tied up with another player and focused on the puck, and you take him out. But here's the thing. Under the current set of rules in the National Hockey League, being a predator is entirely legal as long as you don't hit him in the head. Mm-hmm. And as long as it's not an elbow and as long as it's not ridiculously late. And you could get into whether it's charging, and some people thought one of the 3 hits might have been charging, but was right on the borderline of it. So at the end of the day, I get what Ray's saying, what Timo Solani's saying, what Scotty Upshaw's saying, because, there is malice in Matthew Tkachuk's heart when he goes to do that, but nobody has a rule in the NHL against being malicious, so long as you don't violate the specific rules that are laid out. So I get why people don't like the hit, but I don't know what the referee or the league is supposed to do in that situation because it's so hard to police. How do you, if you're the National Hockey League and, you put in some sort of language about being a predator or, sizing a guy up when he's vulnerable, there's no rule against being vulnerable in the NHL. If you have the puck or you're making a play on the puck, you're entitled to be hit. And even if you're tied up with another guy. Mm-hmm. And I understand why players wouldn't like it. And I think you're right. I think the vast majority of players don't like the hit. And I think more players in the National Hockey League would be inclined to send a text to Zach Kassian after the game going, way to go, buddy. Happy to see you do that when you grabbed him and tried to thrash him, as opposed to good hit, Matthew, way to hit Kassian. But, at the end of the day, I'm not sure where it goes. Now, I think the other important point is that Kassian gets it. So he realized afterwards, hey, listen, in my world, he's got to answer the bell for that. He didn't want to do that, so I'm going to call him some names. But I also understand now I'm the one who's on the carpet. I'm going to get suspended for a game or 2, not him. So now in the future, I got to be smarter, and I got to go out and deliver the same sort of hits that he delivered on me to him. And that's obviously what Kassian plans on doing the next time they play. And if he doesn't execute it as seamlessly,
that's the problem.
In terms of not hitting the head, then it's great. But if he catches them in just the wrong spot and does hit him in the head, well, then Kassian's going to be looking at more than a game or 2, and people are going to be talking about vigilante justice and what have you. And there are so many people who look at the NHL now and say they miss the days of players having to stand up for themselves, but we also know the values being what they are today and what we know about head trauma, that players don't have to fight if they don't want to. And that's a little ironic to say that because, Kassian could have easily sustained head trauma and maybe did on the whiplash effect from the hit, and there's no rule against that. So
Oh yeah, you talk to a lot of former fighters in the league, Bob. That's something that they usually stand by. Is that studies have been done that prove a lot of times it's hits, and in particular hits from behind, that can actually cause way more concussions than fighting. But I think you just hit the nail on the head there when you're talking about the psychology of the game. I don't think people mind those hits because, I don't know, back in the day, if that's what you want to say, you did have to answer the bell fight. Like, there was an understanding in many ways that if you had a really, kind of big egregious hit or a few in a row, that at some point someone was going to come after you, and then that was okay. And I think that's where it's kind of shifting in the game, is you're still seeing the hits, but the response is not allowed anymore, I guess I should say, right? Like, it's just kind of understanding that part of it now.
We're kind of caught on the cusp of two worlds.
Yes.
And, nobody wants hitting out of the game, and yet, on those hits, you may want the guy to have to answer for it, but, you don't want to promote a bare-fisted punch to somebody's head either. So I don't know. There's no easy answers here, and you can't go in a time machine back to the 70s, and I'm not sure where it all goes from here. And I'd be curious. It would be really fun in a way, or not as fun, more instructive, I think, to take some current players, some ex-players, the odd coach, general manager, like 10, 12 guys, and just put them on a panel and say, okay, if you were running the league, what would you do about that? So what would be your language on the hit to make that hit to Matthew Tkachuk, make that illegal? Because if we determine that the consensus is that 8 out of 12 guys or 9 out of 12 guys don't like the Matthew Tkachuk hit, what would be the rule?
How do you change it to make it not allowed?
It's easy to say, I don't like that hit. It's a really subjective thing. I don't like it. It doesn't look right. The guy's focused on the puck, and he's got another player to deal with. Guy comes down, sneak attack, takes advantage of him. But, if you read the rule book, there doesn't seem to be, not that I'm aware of anyways, and it doesn't seem to be anything abundantly clear as to you would say, well, that needs to be a suspension or that needs to be a 5-minute major.
Yeah, and I think that's just it, because the rule book is supposed to police the player's behavior. And so if you do something that is outside the lines, which again, the Tkachuk hit wasn't, but maybe some people want it to be, he would be penalized for it. Edmonton go to the power play, they score a goal. Zach Kassian probably doesn't feel the need to, even if it happens again, and he gets another penalty. Justice served, on they go. The one I always pose to the Edmonton fans who are out for blood for Matthew Tkachuk and a turtle and a softie and every other word you want to call him. So let's say it's Leon Draisaitl. I won't say it's Connor McDavid because he's not likely to do it. But let's say it's Leon Draisaitl and he boards Milan Lucic from behind. Could happen. And Lucic turns around, doesn't like it, and there's no real penalty because those kind of hits occasionally happen and are not penalized. Would you expect Draisaitl to fight Milan Lucic? I don't think anyone would expect that to happen. And I think, and that's what Matthew Tkachuk's saying. He's like, I'm hitting a guy. I didn't break any rules. I'm better than he is. It's better for my team to stay on the ice than sit on the bench for 5 or 7 or 9 minutes with him. So why would I fight him and play the game on his terms? I'm speaking now from Tkachuk's perspective.
Absolutely.
And why would I take myself out of this game that's super important? And when he says, I'll take the power play, the game-winning goal, and first place, I think that's the perspective he's bringing on it, especially when you consider it was a hit that, by the league standards, was not illegal in any capacity. So that's the other side of the coin. Everyone's like, I don't like it. Answer for your actions. Well, anytime someone's not happy, can they just take someone who doesn't want to fight and then just start throwing them around the ice, and that's okay? You can't. You can't go down that road.
And that's why they put the rule in. But the flip side is you reap what you sow in this game, and if Matthew Tkachuk is going to make those hits, and he's going to target people, and he is targeting people, let's be honest. Those were targeted hits.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, which is fine.
Which is okay.
Rules, but you're allowed to target, but then you probably will start to become more of a target.
But and again, Bob, if you're okay, so maybe it just played out as it should have. If you're okay with those hits being legal but not nice, and you're okay with a guy reacting emotionally to getting hit like that, and you're okay with him trying to fight a guy and that guy not choosing to fight and he takes some punches while he's not engaged and then it stops, then you're probably okay with it all. Like, it kind of played out as it should, and a guy will get penalties or maybe suspended a game or two, and maybe that's just okay. I mean, that's kind of how it plays out.
It doesn't end there because Edmonton and Calgary are going to play again, and Zach Kassian's going to say, okay, here's what I know. Here are the things I know. I know that if he gets the opportunity, Matthew Tkachuk's going to target me because he did it 3 times last game. I know that if I drop my gloves and try to fight, he's not going to fight. I know if I drop my gloves and try to fight, I'm going to get suspended again, and probably more games than I got last time. So what am I going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I got to hit him like he hit me.
Yeah.
I got to target him
within the rules.
And within the rules, and that's the key. Is he's got to do it within the rules. And if he doesn't, then he's going to get dinged badly, and it all ends badly. But I think there will be players on other teams now who will watch this and they'll say, okay, so Tkachuk, he's going to target guys. He's going to make those hits. Let's make one on him. Let's go after him. We can't fight. We can't jump him, so let's hit him. And Matthew Tkachuk could probably say, bring it on. And as he said about Kassian afterwards, he says, we don't want to get hit. Stay out of the track.
And he's right. And Matthew Tkachuk wouldn't have a problem. And I'll tell you the language that happens in the locker room. And it's coming from a guy who obviously I didn't like to fight. I was not good at it. I would get my head smashed in by anyone. Why would I choose to play the game on their terms? I'd rather just play because I felt I had a better chance. The conversation addresses this, well, you're not going to bother Tkachuk. He's not going to change. And you're right, Bob. Let's hit him every time we can, as hard as we can, as malicious as we can within the rules. And hope that they stay within the rules. But where it spreads to is, well, we can't change him and bug him, Tkachuk. Who can we bug?
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
Great.
Tom Monahan. Yeah. Elias Lindholm. Those are the guys. You're not going to bug Giordano, but those are the guys you go after because you can't change or curb the behavior. Then maybe that changes Tkachuk's behavior, where they in his own room says, hey, Matty, you keep running around. I'm getting killed out here because everyone's fired up with just dial it back a notch. Maybe that's how it happens.
It's funny because in the 1970s, if you got challenged to fight, you had to fight. If you didn't, you would not have survived in the league. You would have been viewed as exactly what Zach Kassian talked about after the game, and your reputation would have been in tatters in the 1970s. But having said that, even though everybody did answer the bell back in the 70s, there was the Tiger Williams School of Diplomacy, which was exactly what you just outlined. He decided, you know what? If their guys running around trying to hit our guys, or even if I'm going to go after the best player on the other team, I'm going to go after him hard. Tiger Williams will go after Mike Bossy. He doesn't care because if the guys come roaring after him, he's ready to go. But Darryl Sittler might say, "Hey, Tiger, what are you doing?" But nevertheless, that's the kind of escalation that you end up getting.
Well, I mean, O-Dog talks about it all the time when he played, and if one of his guys was running around the ice, going after the other team, the other team would come up and be like, "You're next, kid." And he's like, "What? I didn't do anything." And he's like, you'd have to tell his teammates to calm down.
And before we go on to another big story, last bow I'll put on this, though, I think everyone can agree with, whether you think you should fight or doesn't, if you try to fight someone and they clearly don't want to, you do have to stop.
Yeah.
You can't just keep pummeling a guy, driving his head in the ice, no matter how angry you are, for whatever reason it is. Once it has been clearly established he doesn't want to go, you kind of have to stop. And that's where Zach Kassian's going to get suspended for a couple games because he does not.
So that hearing is today.
As O talks about his first, I think it was his first fight in the National Hockey League, he decided that he was going to try and pick what he thought was sort of a soft skill defenseman from the Quebec League, Sheldon Surrey.
That's
not a
he's
small
got to do
guy.
better scouting.
Didn't he win hardest shot in the league for like how many years?
He was a big, strong man. I played with him in Montreal.
That's a big boy.
And he could fight.
Oh, man.
Well, no one ever said O was smart.